Hello Team 8B, this is Mr. Williams trying to show you how to write an MLA formatted paper. We have a few features here that you need to be aware of. First of all, let's just go from the top. In the top right corner you have your header. This is the last name of the author followed by the page number. Now that page number is going to change for us automatically for each part of this paper, so we need to learn how to do that today. The rest of it's pretty straightforward, you just have to follow the rules. On the left side of the paper, we have the name of the student. Then we have the name of the teacher, in this case teachers. We have Mr. Williams and Ms. Graham, for this is the co-teaching class. Then you have your class name, and then you have the date you wrote the paper or the date that's due, written day, month, and then year. After that you have a centered title, no bold, no underline. You just have the centered title the same way it appears for the rest of the paper. And then you'll notice the rest of the paper is also double spaced. You just tab over and you have the paper start. Now we're going to erase this whole thing so we can get a good idea of how you're supposed to do this. But first, let's pick an assignment. Here we're going to use the paper that's going to be due in Miss Rogers' class soon for the students, the endangered species paper. And you'll notice like when I clicked here, something changed. I'm going to unclick that and show you how I did that. So first of all, there are a lot of ways to do this. In the new Microsoft Word, you can actually just hit View and Heading. But the simple way to do this, and it should still apply, you just put your cursor up into that area where you'll notice the margin is blue, double click, and you're in the header. Or if you want to take an extra step, you can just right click, scroll over, and click Edit Header. But either way, you get where you have to be. Now I already had indented here, but if you hadn't yet, you'd have to go over to the home page and hit the right indent or align text right feature or Control R. Once you do that, you'll notice that when you double click in the header, this screen popped up. It's called Design. Now I could type in Smith 1, since Smith is the fake student, but then it's going to say Smith 1 on every single page. What I have to do instead is on the left side there's a page number feature. I click on this, click top of the page. I want that page number on the right, and now the page number will be done for me on every single page, and then I'll include my fake student's name of Smith, and I have everything I need. Now I wrote this paper in Times New Roman, but often they'll change here. I'm going to put it back to Times New Roman. Just always be careful to make sure the font stays the same. It looks very unprofessional if you don't have the same font throughout the entire paper, and now we'll be all set in that regard. So the next step is that class information. I'll just input all that, Jonathan Smith. And this is the science paper now, so we're going to write Miss Rogers. The class would be Science 8B. And then your date, this paper is due on June 7th, so I'm going to put that. It's going to be 7 June 2013. Now the only problem here is that I don't have double spacing, so let me just show you how to do that. There are a few ways to do it, but the easy way, select the entire document, hit Control 2, and it does it for you. You don't even have to move the mouse. Once again, select the entire document and hit Control 2. Or if you don't like that way to do it, the nice long way around it is the right click, go to Paragraph, and change the line spacing from single to double. And there you go. Now I'm only going to hit Enter once here. You always want to hit Enter just once, but Enter. Then I'm going to have a centered title here. Now for my endangered species paper, I'm going to focus on, let's say, we have an animal here called a pygmy rabbit that looks endangered here. So let's take a look at this. And I want to title it's a little interesting. So if I write endangered species report, that's boring. I want to catch my audience's attention. So let's do something simple like protect the pygmy rabbit. Something simple, but it's at least a little bit different than, we'll say, just the general endangered species paper or just writing pygmy rabbit. You want to make sure you do something a little unique. And after that I'm ready to type my paper. I just make sure I hit Tab, and then I can start my paper however I would go. So there's your format on the MLA format and how you're going to do this for any paper coming up for an English classroom. But remember, once you go into a different major or a different job, you may have different requirements. Just always make sure you know the rules, know the format, and what is expected of you. If you have any questions, you can always email me or check on the web or something of that nature, and they have information just as well.